Hey guys, Jacob here. This is going to be another Division 2 build video on the channel. This is going to be my, mixed armor DPS build I've been trying to make for the past few weeks and get the correct rolls and try to get max stats. This build is not 100% done. It is about 90% done due to the fact that there's one piece I have but I cannot get a minor attribute on. So this build is pretty much complete as is, but if, the requirements are going to be higher on some of the pieces, so that's why they are currently not 100% at the moment, but I'll get right into it and tell you guys. First of all, I am using the military AKM and the ACS. This is the primary weapon I mostly focus on, and this is more of a close quarters only, like if I'm in a tight room, or if I run out of rounds and someone's right in front of me, I can switch to this and hit them. But first, I'll cover the military AKM. 23k damage, 660 RPM. It does say 600, but if you refresh the gun, it does say 660, just like that. Ranger, every 5 meters you are from a target grants 2% weapon damage and does require 4 or less utility. Allegro for the rate of fire, which is really nice due to the fact that the AK has a low RPM. You could throw measured on here as well if you want to get that 15% rate of fire instead of Ranger, but I like having Ranger due to the fact that when you're in long range engagements, you can hit people from a distance and actually do a little bit more damage. You can use Optimus as well because the build does unlock Optimus. But I've heard that they're going to change Optimus. I don't know if that's 100% sure, true. But I've been using Optimus a lot, so I decided to change it up a bit and use Ranger instead due to the fact that I'm always a good distance from people. So why not use this and just get the 2% weapon damage in general? And then next is Zen. While equipped, resting in cover for 3 seconds removes blind and disorient stats effects. The mods I'm using on this weapon are the Pro Sight with 5% stability. I'm using the Light Extended Mag, which gives you 10% or 10 extra rounds instead of 60 like it used to. So you get 40 rounds. If you want more rounds, you can flip out Allegro with extra. But personally, with a weapon like this with the low RPM, I like having Allegro due to the fact that it gives you a rate of fire bonus. The Angled Grip for 10% stability. The Pro Sight, like I said, is for stability, and also you have the Compensator 760 for stability. So this gun is mostly based around stability. If you want to get rid of a few attachments and increase your damage, I guess, you can use the Crit Chance laser pointer, which is what I've been doing a lot lately instead of using this. Due to the fact I wanted a little bit more crits, and this build pretty much has no crits at all, like none. This is mostly a high damage survivor build. I'm trying to mix these pieces up together and just be able to hit people insanely hard, but it's been working. You guys will see some gameplay in the future when I've done editing it, but you can flip these if you want, and if you want more crit damage, you can change as well. So you can throw this on here right now and you'll get the 5% crit chance. Same goes for the Compensator. You can flip this for the 5% crit damage or the accuracy on the suppressor. Next is the Showstopper, or the ACS-12, whatever you want to call it. I got this pretty recently. It's not 500, but it hits at 48.3k. The RPM is 300, but this one as well, if you refresh it, it goes at 330 because of Allegro. It only holds 20 rounds, so just remember that. It is one of the probably my favorite shotguns in the game due to the fact that it's great in close quarters. You can just hold down the trigger and just destroy people. And I don't use this weapon a lot. I'm going to show you guys that now. But Pummel, which is awesome for guns like the M1014 or the ACS, the semi-max shotguns like the Sega. 3 consecutive body shots grants a refill magazine and grants 50% weapon damage for 7 seconds, and does require 4 or more firearms. Allegro for the rate of fire bonus, which is pretty awesome due to the fact this is full auto already, and you can just hold down the trigger and just destroy kids. Overlap, while holstered, your equipped weapon grants a handling bonus based on this weapon's type. Now the attachments on this weapon are the Reflex Sight with crit range, and I don't think this really matters that much due to the fact you're going to be right in someone's face. Then next is the laser pointer. You cannot put a muzzle on this. You can see there's only 2 weapon slots in the skin slot, and the magazine is 20 rounds guaranteed. Now I'll get into the gear. The pistol isn't really that important if you guys are curious as to what it is. I also use the Desert Eagle, but I really don't care too much what sidearm I use. But I'll tell you guys why I'm using these pieces and why I think they are great together. First of all, I do have 5 firearms, 12 the defense, and 2 utility. I have 249,000 armor and 74,000 health with 103 skill power. But first off, I'll get into the mask, which is the Guild Guard mask, which has 5,817 health on kill, 4,000 health, and you're getting the hazard protection and the total armor, and you're also getting the self-adjusting, which is 20% armor regeneration. Next is the chest piece. This chest piece is probably the main part of the build or the main piece of the build I was focusing this around. It's still a little bit lower gear score, but it's probably one of the best chest pieces I have. 21,525 bonus armor, which is insane. 4.5 weapon damage, and it has 5,000 health. Unstoppable Force, killing an enemy grants 2% weapon damage for every 10,000 max armor. And you can see that does require 7 or more, but I think they're going to change that to, I think it's either 11 or 12 if I remember correctly. So that's why I'm getting ready for this, making this build around the next future update. I have a defense mod with 4,000 health, disrupt and bleed resistance, and I have a utility marksman rifle mod due to the fact I do kind of switch between a shotgun and a sniper, depending if someone's at long range, so I decided I throw on there to get a little bit extra damage when I have to switch to it when I have to. Next is the holster. This has 17,000 health, 4,258 health on kill, and has an offensive protocol mod with 2% weapon damage, assault rifle crit damage, pistol crit damage. Then the weapon damage on this one is 1.5, shotgun is 2.0, and the pistol is 4.0, so you're getting a little bit of shotgun and weapon damage as well. Next is the backpack, which is the Alp Summit for the 10% cooldown reduction, the 20,000 bonus armor, and the 4,000 health. I have not changed this backpack at all, so I might end up rolling the health to a higher number when I find a bag that has a high number of health on it. Then next is Safeguard, which is actually getting nerfed, but I still want to try to use it at the moment, so you guys can flip this out for something else. But killing a target grants a 150% bonus to repairing and healing effects for 20 seconds. Then you get Harden, which gives you additional 10% armor. Then you have the utility system mod, which is skill power, pulse skill power, and hive skill power. And then the offensive system mod, which is actually an old mod I had in my inventory back when I played the game when I was around level, I think, 18 or 19, somewhere around. I picked this up, and it gives you 1.5 weapon damage and 4% assault rifle damage, which is pretty nice. Next are the gloves, which is the Murakami Industries, which is the 3-piece, so you get the health, hazard, and you get the firefly, and then that has 3,000 health, 8% assault rifle damage, and 5% weapon damage from devastating, which is really nice as well. Next are the knee pads, 9,000 bonus armor, and 20,000 self-adjusting, which is armor regeneration. And then you have the 2,518 health, and you get the 512 armor regeneration and 2% extra incoming healing. Now, this build around, I guess, up to the holster is pretty much complete, but originally this build was going to have a piece like the Fenris, which is right here, which is the only Fenris holster I've picked up since the newest update, and it has devastating on it, and it also has cooldown reduction in health. Personally, I don't really use this holster at the moment, but you can. But I wish it had something like armor or health on kill, just anything that was not cooldown reduction, just in general, due to the fact that way I'd have 12, and I'd still be able to get the 5% weapon damage and get the 10% assault rifle damage. So if you do want to flip this, you can, and you will gain a little bit more weapon damage. But currently at the moment, I'm going for this as it is at the moment. Okay, next I'll get into the skills I'm using. I have been changing between skills. First of all, I am using the Deflector, and I'm using the Crusader Shield, which are these two. Mostly this one due to the fact, like I've said in one of their videos, when you're PvP and someone's fighting you, I don't usually use this to face tank. I mostly use this if NPCs are fighting me and I just pull this out to block a few of their rounds, or if someone's being rezzed, I'll actually pull this out and get in front of my teammate to try to fight off as many NPCs or people as possible, and so they can be rezzed and get up and back to the fight. Next is the drone. I use the Striker drone mostly due to the fact just to, I guess, attack players, annoy the absolute shit out of them, and I also use the Fixer drone to repair my armor. You can see I don't really use any of the other drones. I mostly use the Chem launcher as well, which this is kind of the main piece of the build, which is the Reinforcer. So you basically just heal yourself like crazy with something like Safeguard, and you also have your armor regeneration as well. And the last skill on the list is going to be the Seeker Mine, which is the basic Seeker. You could also use the Mender Seeker if you want to heal, but that's about it for these skills. Next are the stats. You guys can see all the gear talents here are pretty much unlocked, except Reformation, which is on the handgun. But other than that, you can see 23,000 weapon damage. The crit chance is absolutely gone. 25% crit damage. That's insanely low, but like I said, this is kind of a balanced build. I would like to get that a little bit higher, maybe in the future when I decide to mess with this build a little bit more, but currently at the moment, this is what I've been using, and so far it works. Then you need the offensive, which is the 15% all weapon damage bonus from the Survivalists, the 27% assault rifle damage bonus, LMG, shotgun, marksman. You can see all that stuff from all the miners, and the shotgun is from the Survivalists as well. Here's the armor. Armor generation, max health, health on kill. You can see the 250,000 armor, and you can see your skills are right here for the cooldown, and you can see all these minor stats for something like the Hive and drone skill power and stuff like that. That's me about it, guys, for the video. Thank you guys all for watching. One thing I will note, make sure you use the Survivalist with this class because this is an assault rifle build. If you're using something like the Demolitionist or the Sharpshooter, you're not going to get the bonus for the shotgun and the assault rifle. But as always, I will catch you guys in the next one.
So, Devil's Cry, huh? Let's hear what that sounds like! Don't you dare say it!